morning and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm just gonna lightly touch on my story and my journey with minimalism thus far, and it is an ever-going journey, and it's beautiful and it's liberating. It is freeing. It will take away the things from your life and make you feel richer than you've ever felt before. It's rewarding and just freeing. I can't stress that enough. It's freeing, and it just makes you feel like you have so much to give, and you just want to give and help people and exist so purely. So I'm just going to kind of break it down. There's no script. I didn't write anything. I didn't journal. I tried to kind of journal something out this morning and nothing came. So I'm going to just hang out and talk and just free talk. So I was pregnant for Lana 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago, the 9 months of that. And I stumbled across minimalism. I'd seen it before in some of my favorite YouTubers. They talk about minimalism. I'm like, whatever. Okay, whatever. I could never, do that. And I like my stuff. And that's just not like where I'm going. And so it was just kind of something that I heard about. So fast forward, I think I might have heard like a mom talk about minimalism with kids and mothering and like the benefits. And I had just moved into my home with my husband, and all of our stuff came with us, right? So 2 full apartments full of stuff. I've always been more minimalistic. My husband, not even close. He's always just like stuff. He just gets that from his dad. It's just something that he just likes stuff. He likes collecting, and he owns an antique shop. So it's the perfect kind of thing for him. So all of a sudden we had all of this stuff in one house at the same time, and we had a new baby coming, and so I just had clutter. And if you look back at because when I started this vlog, I was pregnant. I was just pregnant for Lana, and so you can see how much crap we had just sitting around. There are just nooks and crannies that just had stuff, and there was stuff all over the counters and this and that. It was pretty terrible. So I started kind of diving into these decluttering videos, and there was one girl I used to watch, Madison Gray, and she's a minimalist mom, and she would like just talk about minimalism and the benefits and the peace of mind she'd receive while I was decluttering. And I would spend like an hour decluttering this room, and then an hour decluttering this pantry, and then an hour decluttering my clothes. And so I started decluttering things, right? I started there. I was decluttering my stuff, and I decluttered a lot of stuff that we had 2 of, or 3 of, or 4 of, or we never touched, or we literally could live without. And that was the new thing for me. I was like, what can I live without in here? What are the clothes that literally don't fit me? And I dread folding them and seeing them. I literally haven't touched them in months, and I don't see myself wearing them in the next couple months. So why do I have them? So I started with stuff. And once my house became manageable, and all of a sudden it was easier to clean my house, it took no time at all. It took like 30 minutes instead of just, oh my gosh, someone's coming, we have to clean. And that was just all day cleaning, getting stuff out of where you could see it, pushing things into like nooks and crannies in the basement and the upstairs and where people weren't going to be. And it was a nightmare. And so we were finding ourselves at first, when we first moved in, we had so much stuff that we were like going out to eat a lot, finding things to do outside because coming home was stressful. And that's not how life is supposed to feel. Life is not supposed to feel stressful. And if it feels that way for you, like I've been there. And now coming home is so nice and inviting and beautiful that we are homebodies. I'm a homebody. I never leave. I never want to leave. And when I do, I'm excited to come back home to my space, to my calm space. So some of the benefits there were obviously coming home and not feeling stressed, easier, quicker cleaning, always having a space where you can be like, yeah, come on over, we're home, and not feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to clean. Like I have my routines, and I do my cleaning for me every single night. So the house is pretty okay all the time. Obviously, sometimes it gets a little crazy, and I'm like, okay, yeah, the tub needs to be cleaned, like a little extra. There's like paint stains, and if someone's coming over, I gotta really quickly, but there's no more showing off, right? There's no more showing off for people of like, oh, I need to present this, because there's no stuff. The house is clean. I have some plants. I have like 2 pictures on the wall. The house is just how it is. So once I started to do that, there was a shift, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can declutter the things that aren't serving me. I can also declutter other things in my life that aren't serving me. I'm the boss here. I'm the owner of this life, okay? I control this vehicle. I can control what this vehicle does, what, comes in and out of this vehicle. I'm talking about not this vehicle. I'm talking about this vehicle, the only thing that I'll ever own, okay? This vehicle right here, this skin vehicle. And once I realized that, it was a crazy shift. I closed down my business. I started full-time homeschooling. I became a true minimalist and I didn't want to buy anything. I used to stand in stores and be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. How could I fit that into that room? How could I make that work? And it's like, wait a minute. I don't need that just because it's on sale or there's a promotion or someone's making it look cool or a model's wearing it and it looks epic. That's not how this works. And so just continuously hearing things like that with minimalism and how you don't need anything, I would buy less and less stuff. I stopped going to any stores and said, okay, if I really need it, I can wait for it. And I can usually find it secondhand at the thrift shop. So then I took away, all of that. I stopped shopping. I got rid of my Amazon. I got rid of all of the shopping platforms that I had previously been on, even Shein. And, we've all been there, done that. Unless you haven't, then good for you. But I was like, this is so easy. I can buy stuff for my kids without having to leave the house. Like, what a beautiful thing we have. But it's so bad, so wasteful. So anyways, got rid of that. Got rid of all the shopping apps, including Amazon, and I'm okay. I haven't had Amazon in like a year, maybe even longer, and I'm fine. And if I really need something, I think about it and then I tell Nick and he orders it for me because he has an Amazon for his business and, things that he needs to order from there. So, and then it went deeper. So this is layers over the course of 2 to 3 years. It's not going to happen overnight, but then I would walk around my house and I would be like, there's a little bit too many shoes. Like there's some shoes that no one's wearing. I'm going to declutter them. And so then we had a decluttering box in the corner of the house that if you didn't want something, you put it in there. We take it to the thrift shop. And we just started decluttering. And now it's actually hard for me to declutter because the things in the house are so intentional that we love them. And so once in a while, it's like, this doesn't fit anymore. I need to declutter it. And it's a beautiful thing. But after the stuff comes a deeper layer. Then you start to notice, okay, I left hanging out with this person and I don't feel my best. And this is like a consistent cycle that keeps happening. What would happen if maybe I don't declutter that person because I love them, they're my friend, but what if I spend less time with them and see how that feels? Put them in the side bin for sometimes use, and then the jobs that aren't serving me, the hobbies, I was holding on to hobbies and stuff that come with the hobbies that I was never doing. And it was more stress and pressure to do these hobbies than the joy of them. And so I got rid of a lot of hobby equipment and stuff, and it led me back to music. And yeah, music. I'm out here. I'm going to film this and then I'm going to work on music because it's Sunday and Nick's home playing with the girls. And so I'm sneaking out in the middle of the day to do music. But all of this pressure that comes with stuff. And then clothes. Right now I have like 20 to 30 pieces of clothing. And then I have a couple of sweaters from the winter, from the colder months that I have put away. But on my rack, I have between 20 and 30 because that's how many hangers I have. So I know how many clothes I have at all times. I decluttered so many things. So with this being said, this is kind of the beginning of my journey. And then there's toys, there's the kids stuff, there's the separation of that. It's been such a beautiful journey and inspiring, uplifting, joyful. I thoroughly enjoy and feel like the pressure coming off of the act of decluttering, all of that. And I just want to know, what do you guys want to know about decluttering, since there are so many different facets, that it's such an intricate, beautifully layered process that happens. And I'm sure I'll be kind of decluttering over the course of my lifetime. In addition to that, there's like stuff on the inside, subconscious stuff that you actually end up decluttering naturally during the declutter process. And that comes naturally when you start to allow things and let things go in your life. You actually metaphysically start to let things go, and it's so beautiful. I mean, I even changed my whole way of eating through this process of just letting go what didn't serve me. Like, what am I eating? What is not making me feel my best self? Because I want to show up as my best self. I need to do that for my kids, for my art, for, the people in my life that I want to be there for and fill up my cup so I can be there for them. I want to show up as my best self. What foods are not making me feel my best? Let's declutter those. Okay. So I decluttered so many things out of my life, and now I have the foods that make me feel my absolute best self, my most vibrant existence since I was a little kid. I mean, I am telling you. Okay, too many shoes. Right now I have one pair of sandals. I decluttered my sneakers, so I walk and run in my shoes. I have an UGG boot that I wear in the fall and the spring when it's cold. I have one pair of nicer boots that I wear when I'm kind of going out. And then my mom gave me some secondhand muck boots that I wear if it's super muddy out. 4 shoes. And I could probably declutter the muck boots if I could thrift like a nice pair of winter boots. And with the kids, they have a sandal and a cold weather shoe. That's it. 2 shoes. Now, I'm not saying that's all they have right now, because they get gifted shoes all the time, or they find some from the thrift shop and then they find them and then they end up in the basement, you know. So our house is nowhere near perfect, and I'm still working on it. Like, our basement is a hot mess, and we just have so many tools that need to go to Nick's shop. We have, you know, construction stuff down there because our house is an ever-going construction project as it is. We have odds and ends and things that, oh, I don't know if we need this. So it's always going to be a process, and we're going to bring things in and things are going to have to move out. This is always a beautiful process, but your house doesn't have to be a landfill. And that's what that girl, Madison, she just like always said that. She was like, sometimes I get stressed out because I'm like, should I send it to the thrift shop, the recycling bin, or the garbage? And she's like, that's not the point. The first thing you need to understand is your house is not a landfill, and you need to just get it out. If you don't know, throw it in the garbage. Try not to be wasteful. Try to recycle where you need to. But if you're that stressed out, to get things moving, start by just chucking things, seriously, or having a big fat yard sale. But with that being said, there's just so many different layers to this. I want you guys to let me know what you guys want me to discuss, because like I said in the last video, it's one of my favorite topics that I like to talk about. I love to talk about minimalism. You can't push it on people. People have to like come to it on their own. So if you are into minimalism and you want to know some things, I know that you are already into it and I can talk about it, and I don't have to feel bad about trying to be like, trust me, get rid of your stuff and you'll feel better. But tell me what exactly you want to know and I'll talk about it. I'll make a video for each topic, because there's so many things. Like, you know, I'm thinking like talking about my stuff versus the kids' stuff. So I have like nothing, like literally nothing. Like, I could pack up my car right now with like a couple of bags and be totally fine and just live out of my car, or anywhere. I have hardly anything. If I pack up for something, it's 1 bag if it was just me. But then you have the kids stuff, and what does that look like with minimalism? And so, like, for example, they're in control of their rooms, so they can keep it however clean or messy they want. That's up to them. But I set a good example by keeping my space nice and minimal and clean. They have a designated spot downstairs for 1 toy box for their toys. If anything comes downstairs, it goes in the box or back upstairs to their rooms by the end of the day. So that's how I keep my sanity on the first level, so they can still have freedom. And it's not like, oh my gosh, we're a minimalistic family, stop buying things. But I can still have my peace of mind without pushing my views onto them and letting them make their own decisions. So that's a whole topic. That's a whole video. You know, there are just so many things, and I've watched hours and hours. I've read so many books on this topic that I would just love to dive into this with you guys. So that's the first kind of real video of minimalism on this channel. I've never really touched about it, because you wouldn't walk in our house and be like, oh my gosh, this is so minimalistic, because we have kids. We have 5 people in our household. We have dogs. We have things, but we only have things that we intentionally want in our house. And it's a beautiful feeling. It feels like home. It feels better than it's ever felt. And it starts with less stuff. So to wrap this video up, please just let me know, because I could talk all day about just random things and just vent and talk and connect with you guys. So let me know in the comments, please, what you guys want to discuss, and we can discuss things and we can dive into things and unpack things and talk so deeply about minimalism. You just let me know and I will make a video about it. Thanks, guys.